Let me check to see if we're getting there. Oh, we are. Yay.
We are live.
We are live.
Yay.
Welcome, everybody. I am Marianne Pack, and this is Let's Talk Joy podcast, my new podcast. And what we're doing today is inviting the authors of Keys to Joyful Living as we launch our baby book into the world to spread more love and joy. And I am so excited to have three of our six, including myself, authors with us today. And I really want to express my gratitude for those of you who have already ordered your ebook. And I would ask you a very big favor to come back over to Amazon and leave us a lovely review if you're so inclined. That would just help us tremendously, because Amazon loves reviews and they love when people search for the book by name rather than using a link. It allows them to realize, hey, this book is important and people are looking for it. And so that helps us so much for others to be able to find our book in the process. So we would love to have you do that, and that we would greatly appreciate it. So as I said, I'm Marianne Pack. I am the publisher at Envision Greatness Press. And I had this idea a couple of years ago, and I tossed it around with Liz. Liz is going to be talking here. Wave your hand, Liz. Make sure everybody knows. And she thought it was a really good idea, and it kind of sat on the shelf for a little while. And this past year, I decided, okay, it's time. And I invited people to come and join me, and we have a lovely group of authors. And I'm so excited because this book is a little bit different. Let me show it to you. Look, y'all. I'm so excited. It's a big book. And this was so important for me because joy, I didn't come from joy. And so joy has played a tremendous part in my life and my transformation, becoming more true to who I am, more authentic and aligned with who I am and my purpose as joy. And so I'm just so thrilled because these authors, we just decided to do it by topic. Rather than each author having a separate chapter and they really don't interact with each other. In this book, because it's by topic, the authors are writing messages under the topics that they're expert in. So this has become a reference manual. To me, this is an eternal reference manual for our transformation that you come back to, and you get another key that you may be working on a particular area in your life. So I'll stop talking and let our authors introduce themselves. And I'm just going to go around the screen here. For me, Allison Field is one of our authors. And Allison, would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you do in the world, what good you bring into the world, and why this kind of was important for you to participate in this project.
Yeah. Hi, Marianne. Thanks for having this. This is exciting. I'm Allison Field. I am an energy coach, and Marianne asked me to do this project, and it's so aligned with what I do in the world. And I help people create their blanks, whatever their blank is, whether it's, a heart project, whether it's a new career or a transition. And a lot of times along the way of creating whatever it is they want, they get stopped or blocked. And I love that the Keys to Joyful Living offers so much meat inside of this book that supports that journey and that path to releasing any resistance or any blocks that pop up for my clients in creating their own blanks. So it's perfectly aligned with what I do. And I'm so excited to be here today and to launch the book into the world.
Yes. Yes. And I want to say, we planned this so that it would arrive and be birthed into the world on the full moon.
Mhm.
So this is the first full moon of the year of 2025. And so I was really excited to be able to have this come into the world, and as a sign of completion, but also a birthing process so that others get the benefit of enjoying our child.
Yeah, it definitely is our baby.
Yes, yes, yes. Melissa Lombardo.
Good. Hello, everyone. My name is Melissa Lombardo. I am the founder of Right Heal Thrive. I'm a trauma-informed and trauma-responsive author and speaker and sexual assault crisis advocate. And I'm so excited. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm so happy that I'm with some of the best of the best. This has been a project of my heart that I didn't know I was ready for until I was. And until this project, I will have to say that I didn't think that I could have joy, that I can have joy in my life, that I could find joy and live joy. And all these pieces kind of started to come together that made me shout out loud in my home one evening, I'm finding joy. And that moment was my moment to say, I'm joining this project with Marianne, who believes in me. I am so thrilled at what this book has been able to bring out in me and what I was able to learn from all of these people that are on this podcast with us today, the other authors and the ones that we don't have here today. So I don't know if that was answering the question, but that's, I guess, saying who I am and what really connected me to the project. And it's not just a resource guide for others, it's something that I'm going to hold on to for the rest of my life and also refer back to. So thank you, Marianne, and thank you everyone else for having me as part of this project as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I've already pulled keys from the other authors. This has been for me too, because we write it for ourselves first. You know, these are things that we have worked through, and there are so many keys and so many integrative exercises within this book that you will keep coming back to over and over. It is a living resource for all of us. So Elizabeth Hill.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Hill. I am an author and a writing coach and a publisher. So I am the CEO of Greenheart Living Press, which is a publishing services company based in Connecticut. And I've loved working with Marianne on a number of projects. We love co-creating together. And my personal mission, which is also the mission of my business, is to make the world a more loving and peaceful place, one book at a time, right? I really believe that by sharing our stories, we are helping other people heal. When we are putting it out there, it makes it so that we're not carrying it alone by ourselves. So it's very healing personally. I love writing. It's always been helpful to me, very healing to me. So every project I get to work on where I'm doing that, I transform every single time myself. And I do believe, just like you said, Marianne, that if we write for ourselves first, that when we put that out there, we know it's going to land with somebody else, that we know it can make a difference for someone else. And the more of us that tell our stories and don't keep it locked up and hidden, makes it kind of normalizes things and helps people not feel alone. I'm also there's so much bad media out there that's like negative and sad and scary. Like, yes, it's important to know about what's going on in the world, but it's also important to be putting out media that is uplifting, that is focused on what can we do to make the world a better place. And this book 100% does that, and everything that you put out, Marianne, does that. So it's a real honor to be part of this adventure. I'm very excited to have it come to fruition and be out there today.
Absolutely. And I have to shout out to Liz. She was when I wanted to start this We Are Joy book series, I had hired her to help me publish. And then in the process of her helping me she offered me an apprenticeship, and I said, yes. So the next whole year, I apprenticed with her so that she could just teach me everything. And I just called on her all the time to help me learn new skills in publishing. And so I just always have a soft spot in my heart for Liz because of how much she helped me. And now I have all of these books, and has helped a few other clients with books and publishing theirs. So I'm very excited that she was graciously gave of herself and her knowledge and her wisdom. So thank you, Liz. I appreciate you. So I would like to invite everybody who is either watching or watching the replay, if you will get out your phone or go to your laptop and get ready to actually order the ebook. It's at no cost to you.
Or the book.
I'm sorry.
Or the book.
Or the book. The book is available. Let me talk just a minute about the ebook first. If you'll go to Amazon and search for Keys to Joyful Living, it will pull up our book, and then you can go to it. It may pull up the paperback first, which is also $3 off through the end of the month. So that's our launch price. So you can also get that. Please get a physical copy. You are going to want to sit with it in your hand and highlight spots. And so get the ebook now while it's at no cost. It's free for you to download. Get that. And then if you would please read some of it, enjoy it for a little while, and then come back, please, and leave us a review, because this is so meaningful to authors, especially self-published authors like this, to again help others to decide, yes, this is a book I want because of your review. This is what will help me because this is what I've been looking for. And so your words may be the ones that someone else hears and reads and knows that this book is for them. And it will be a joyous help for them. So if you would go ahead and go to your laptop, we will be putting the link out there. The last day to get the free ebook, though, is tomorrow on Tuesday. So that's it. After tomorrow, it goes to the retail price. But right now, take advantage of this. And even if you're watching the replay, you still have time until the 14th, January 14th, to get the ebook for free. And do come back and leave us a review. Yes, like I said, the paperback, you're still going to want to get a copy of that. So go ahead and put that in your order box too. And get a copy so that it's coming to you real quick. The other two authors that we are missing today, Melissa Trincy she is out today and not available for us to visit with. And then the other author is Lori Raggio, and she is also doing big things in the world. She is away for work, so she can't be with us. She's helping some other glorious people get their transformation, so I'm real happy for her too. So I did want to mention those two other authors. The last thing I did want to mention is just real quick, I just wanted to read just a little excerpt from Dr. Divya Shepherd, who is the Chief Happiness Officer at Ladies Power Lunch. And we are all members of Ladies Power Lunch. And if you are looking for support, a supportive group to be in, this one's it. And it's a free group on Facebook you can join. And it just meant so much to us to have Dr. Divya write the foreword for us. And let me just read just one little quote out of the book from her. Keys to Joyful Living is not just an esoteric treatise on joy, but it is a practical guide with keys that we can incorporate into our own lives in order to witness the joyful transformation that we all desire. The format makes it easy to, makes it easy to come back to again and again as a reference for life. And this is so true. This is exactly what we want out of this book, that it becomes a reference for life. So I appreciate if you go over to Amazon and get your book today. Books, plural. You can always, even give one to someone. Send it as a gift is will be a wonderful treat for somebody to receive. So let's talk authors. Let's talk about, has there been an impact on you personally in your life or in your business from joining this? Has it enriched you in any way, or has it changed anything? Have you seen any shifts? And I'll just let you all popcorn in if you want to.
Sure, I'll share. It has been an amazing contribution to me personally. Just tuning in each day or whenever it was I wrote was significant, because it wasn't an easy time in my life. So reading through everybody else's keys and your parts, Marianne, and all the contributions from everyone really was supportive for me in my own journey and going through those hard times, that I'm in awe of this book. I mean, writing it is one thing, but getting it in my hands, it's like the power of it. You can feel it. It's a beautiful book. So proud.
Yeah, and I love what you said, Allison. And I think for me, it was really helpful to get to be in a collaboration. I have led a lot of book collaborations, and I know how much work it is. And I have to say, it felt really nice to not be in charge of the project and to be an author in the project. It felt good to be able to kind of have the space to really reflect on what my ideas are about joyful living and how I have shifted. I mean, I'm someone that, especially as a child and a young adult, and probably into my mid-20s, was severely depressed, anxious, like really a wreck. It was really bad. And so I had to do a lot of intentional shifting. Some of it was very messy and ugly, like that doesn't always look good. And a lot of work to get to a place where I wake up and I generally feel good about my life, and I generally feel happy. Or if I feel like sad, I go, oh, wait a second. I know I feel this way, but I can probably honor that feeling in a different way and then probably shift out of it. So even when I have the like boom, 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 like those feelings where it's like, oh man, I tanked down, I don't stay there for long. And I used to stay there for a really long time. So being able to have the time to kind of reflect on, okay, what did make the difference? Like what are the things that helped me stay in this better place? And putting those down on paper, which I hope will help other people, but also helps me stay present to what I need to do, because I can just take it for granted for a time, and forget the things that I need to do too. Right. So it's a really cool project, and I'm getting to learn from everybody else's ideas, right? Like, because some of them are affirming, because I go, oh yeah, I think that too. I agree with that. And others, I'm like, oh, I never thought of that before. That's a different thing that I could try, or give advice to somebody else if they're seeking it too. Because everybody's different and everybody's path is different. So we need different things.
Nice.
Yeah, let me mention something just real quick I just thought of before Melissa gets started. In the front of the book, even in the introduction, I said, you may notice some variations of thoughts and beliefs or keys, because we invited people to be like-minded, but not like me-minded. Not all of us are going to believe the same or teach the same or feel the same about how they worked through and found their keys. So, may look like there's contradiction, but we're like our inner being's mind. And that's individual. Our paths are not identical. I didn't want an identical little copy, cookie cutter Mary Ann project. I wanted the thoughts and feelings and experience of all of our authors, and to honor that difference, because somebody who's reading it is going to see themselves in a particular passage that they may not have seen in, like, I wrote the introductions to each section, and then the authors are identified as they write under each section. So you can always know who's speaking. You always have that. But, this is, I wanted people like their inner being's mind, so that they are authentically who they are, not little robots from Mary Ann. So, thank you.
Although I'd like little robots from Mary Ann. They probably would be fabulous.
Okay, you get the brownie points.
Okay.
You'll get 5 extra bucks.
Yeah. Melissa.
I'm not sure if I remember the question, so let's
Oh.
just go with it. No, what everyone said has been just so resonating, and I've noticed for myself, my life mission, my life journey, and what I do for my professional, career development and goals, what have you, they've been aligning little by little, and I see this just as another step in that alignment. The way that I have lived my life and have come through some hardships and trauma has been going through hurt, and then realizing I'm going through healing, and then finding hope in my life. From there, I realized that I was able to thrive and move beyond all of these very difficult circumstances that I may have had before, to then be able to live my best life, and then to be able to find joy. So professionally, as an author and as a speaker and an advocate, this has come together. This book has come at a really good moment in my own personal journey. So the way that I look at it is about the manifestation and the alignment, that things are just coming together, so that personal aspect and the professional aspect are just coming together to bring those next steps. And it's really, for me, been exciting. And this is not something I would have been able to say 5, 10, 15 years ago, that I'm excited to see what's going to happen next. That would have caused me great anxiety. But I knew that this was the right moment. In writing the book, and in being able to see what others have written and learn from them, it gives me additional tools. And I realized something through writing that, and I had said, I think I mentioned this to Mary Ann, there are moments where I went back into the sections that resonated with me that I wanted to write about, and I wrote something, and I went back to edit it, and I thought to myself, who is this that wrote this? There were moments where it didn't even sound like me, and I don't know whose voice that was. I mean, I know that I physically sat there with a piece of paper, and I write everything by hand before it even goes onto the computer. I write everything by hand, and I knew, I can picture myself last night, I definitely wrote that. And now I'm writing it on the computer, and I'm editing, and then the final product, I'm looking at it, and I said, whose voice? Definitely my voice, or other aspects of my voice. So I've really been able to come into myself through this project. And also, like, I think it was Elizabeth that said, there are keys that might not have been something I wrote about, but others have. So now, as a holistic health practitioner and as a coach, I can take these other learnings from this resource and be able to say, oh, although Melissa likes journaling, and Melissa advocates for changing your narrative through journaling, and maybe something that Elizabeth or Allison or Melissa or Lori wrote would actually resonate more with you. Here, take a look at this, because I think it's all part of that process. So I just really feel that I can see using this in my own life to come as a crux in my own journey, and then also being supportive of others in their journey, that this might be the next step for them. And just recognizing that cyclical process of how we live in cycles, and how we go into these next steps that we can now become excited for. I did want to share today, with the new moon, I went to an exercise class as part of my self-care. It's a 6 a.m. class. I was getting out of the class and I walked out. I looked out into the sky. There was these little birds that were all fluttering by. It was about a minute and a half of the birds. The sun was rising just as the moon was setting. And I thought, what a day for the keys to joyful living. I just stood there and looked up into the sky for about 5 minutes, just thinking, how special is this, that this is what I get to do and that I can appreciate it so much more because I'm bringing so much joy into my life. So I'll close with that.
Yes. That's beautiful. Thank you, Melissa.
Crying now.
Yeah, right. Y'all know there's always tears on my show. I'm
Yeah.
always dabbing or wiping. So what do you think, who do you think this book is for? Who would most benefit from it? Who, and what do you want them to receive as they read and study the book? Allison?
I think everyone. I think it can benefit everyone. And really, depending on, it just depends on where you are in your life. Because when it all boils down, I think we all experience the same things in different ways and different fashions and different elements. But, along the way, different things have occurred for me in my life that have been very supportive. And had I had a yummy book like this that just kind of lays it all out, and you can search by topic and say, I want to learn more about how I can support myself with movement or self-care or, relationships. And it's just a resource and an invaluable resource, I think, for anyone depending on where they are in their life, and who didn't want more joy? I mean, that's my feeling is, who doesn't want more joy? And there's so much yumminess throughout this book that I recommend it for everyone. I'm going to give them all of you are getting Christmas presents.
There you go.
Our birthday.
Elizabeth, what about you? Who do you think this should be for, and what do you want them to receive from it?
Yeah, I have three different ideas of who I see this being really helpful for. The first one is people that might feel like they're numbed out, or that they're intentionally numbing themselves out, or they're just like numbed out and they're feeling like, I'm just not feeling life right now. I'm just not into, right? Like I think most of us have been in a place like that at some point, or they can relate to that feeling. If you're just feeling that space and go, I don't know what to do, like, I don't know, this book can be helpful because it gives a lot of different ideas. And you could literally go, like, if you don't have a lot of energy, because you probably don't, if you're feeling numbed out, you could like literally flip through the book and point at a page and read that page and say, okay, is this something I could try today? Like, or this is a thing I could think about today. Right. So I think that could be a group of people where it could be really helpful. I also think it could be really helpful for people that are business owners. A lot of us business owners, especially those who do like holistic work or like life design or like things like that, we've become business owners in order to make our life work better for us. But sometimes it doesn't happen. Like sometimes we change our career, but guess what? You're still your same person, bring in all your stuff into it. So there's elements in this book where it talks about, okay, how do I make my business work how do I make my my days work better for me? Like there's a lot of things that people that who have made a big change, like a work-related change, and they're still feeling the same way, they might get some things out of it. And then the third, both Melissa and I had talked about this idea of, if you are someone that helps people, right? You're in the holistic helping profession, whatever way that looks like, you're going to be working with people that might be struggling or like feeling off or what have you. And there are a lot of different ideas that, sometimes when we're, somebody that's in the helping profession, you might get like, I'm kind of at a wall with this person. Like they're not, it feels like they're stuck. I'm not sure what else to say at this point because I've said these things. And this could, again, be like, okay, well, maybe this is a new approach that I hadn't thought of. It can give some real life examples of things that could be helpful for people.
I so agree. I really feel like this would be such a good support for coaches and therapists and people who are in that caring, loving situation of coaching and so if this is something that you're interested in, be sure and get a hold of me because I'll have bulk book sales that you could give these to your clients. I really want to
Yeah,
get these in the hands of more people, and if it takes, bulk pricing, I'm all for it because we want this in the hands of people and to help coaches support the coach in supporting their people. So yeah, if you're a coach or a therapist or an educator or whatever, if you see that this book could be helpful for your clients, be sure and get a hold of me and I'll have access to my email and things like that. I'll be able to give to you. Melissa, would you like to share?
Yes, I will mirror what everyone has said. I will also think, I also think it would be great resource for any individual that is seeking personal growth, healing, a deeper sense of joy in their lives, perhaps people who have experienced trauma, because this book, I also feel, working in the holistic health field, is very peer-led. We are all peers talking about our own experiences. So someone, who has also experienced adversity in their life, who's seeing these real stories, these real thoughts by these real people who have went through things, and here we are on the other end, writing for us, but like as Marianne had said, and writing for others like us, and also to give people a chance to see that there is that light of hope. And I think that's really great. And I guess in that sense, like you said, Marianne, bringing it into a coach or a support group type of forum where there are others who are peers looking for other steps for their healing as an additional benefit. I also think that people who are interested in well-being as well would be really great candidates. Something I really think is special about this as well, I don't think you've mentioned quite yet, are the integrative exercise. So people who are also able to read, open the book to whatever page, and then say, I want to journal about this. I want to reflect more. And there's this great section at the end of each book where you can do that. So someone who's also, might be interested in doing self-guided type of self-paced work, I think this is a really great fit. And people who are interested in journaling, I think this is such a great book to be able to then journal. And one of the things I think is great that we might not even know the effect of who might get this book. And books are eternal. We'll be able to order them in years and years to come. And I've noticed sometimes, I said this to someone today, I wasn't ready for it until I was. And those people who are not ready for it until they are might be the people that we least expect. Someone that might have actually been supporting, I don't know, a friend or family member who's interested in Reiki, so they got them this book. But maybe the universe had another plan and that book was for them, and they just happened to pick it up and they start reading this book, realizing that, oh, wait, this actually resonates with me. And so there might be people out there, and that's maybe where Allison was coming into it, saying it's for anyone, because we don't know where this book is actually going to land on people, and it's going to get to those right people at those right moments through all these different networks we're creating amongst ourselves and amongst the people that we work with and the people that we come across. I mean, I talk about this book to anyone, and it's already just opening conversation with people who might not normally think that manifesting is for them or alignment is for them, or, oh, wait, I didn't think running was actually a form of inspired action. So there's just so many different things can come out of this for all these different types of cross-section of people, because now is the time we need that community the most, be able to live our lives and live with more joy. We crave that, and this is one of those moments that this book is a bridge to all those things that we didn't think maybe that was for us. Like me, I'm speaking for me, but maybe someone out there like me saying, oh wait, Melissa didn't think it was for her, but it is. Maybe it's for me too. So just that action, inspired action of talking about something so important is going to reach these different types of people that we're all mentioning.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah, I think it's just across the gamut. I mean, if you're just starting out in your spiritual transformation, it's for you. If you're midpoint, it's for you. If you're along the way, it's for you. Because there are so many, like Melissa said, you know, the integrative exercises, there's journaling prompts, there's projects to work on, there's so many different exercises that we give you, that you have options, so that what resonates with you at that time is what you work with, you know, and then come back and pick another another integrative exercise at another time. So there are many behind each section. So it's not like one or two questions to answer. You know, we give, because the way it's written and the authors have so many parts that they write, all those ideas and those suggestions are put into one location at the end of the section. So you have all of those integrative that we've pulled out of the content and put into one place. So you can always head to that section and find a new process maybe that you want to work on, or put into practice. Were you wanting to say something, Allison?
Oh, yes. About the spiritual. You said about it's for everybody, no matter where they are in their spiritual path. And I'd like to just add that everyone is on a spiritual path.
Oh, yeah.
And we're all on a spiritual path, you know, inside of a human body and existence. And some people may not think that, oh, well, that's a spiritual book, I'm not really spiritual, and that won't be helpful for me. But I want to say, oh, yay, yes, because because of that reason. So I just, that popped up for me in my heart when you had mentioned that. And so I think it can be appealing for everyone, no matter where they are in their path. So
I agree. And you know, how many times have we gotten a book and we set it on the shelf for a while, and then for some reason it like almost falls off the shelf into our lap, and it's time to work on it?
Yes.
Get the book now. Yeah. Because you're going to come across a time that you actually want it, or spirit actually does kind of knock it off the shelf or catches your eye, and you go, oh, what was this again? Mm-hmm. And you'll have it there. So I have done that multiple times over my life, and probably will do it again. So one other thing that I wanted to ask, does anybody want to share any of their favorite keys that they had written in the book? I happen to have, while you're looking, if you happen to look, I just have a couple of mine that, because I'd like for the authors to share, you know, just some favorite things that they either wrote or that they can remember from the book. So one of my keys that I enjoyed, that I liked, it says, whoops, I'm on the wrong page. As extensions of the divine infinite intelligence, we are the essence of whose source is love, joy, knowledge, appreciation, pure positive energy, well-being, freedom, and clarity. And another one of my favorite keys was, the most precious experience of life is joy. Joy is not only who we are, but also our purpose in this life. And then the last one that I just enjoyed from the very beginning of the book. Our job as the host to our inner being is to align with their love and express it through the human emotion of joy. So those were my three favorites. I don't know if you authors have some, a couple, two or three favorites that you liked, that you wanted to present. So it kind of, you know, gives a little taste of what's to come. Elizabeth.
I have some. So yeah, I have three that I wanted to share. My first one is around relationships, and it's on page 63. I've needed to learn to see others as whole and complete, and it's not my job to fix anyone else. I've done a lot of trying to like help people that might not have wanted to be helped, or like, you know, trying to like, oh, let me help. do this for you. It's kind of a very codependent thing that I've done throughout life. And once I realized it's like they're on a journey, they might not think there's anything they need to fix, and that could be true for them. Like it's not my agenda. I don't need to have this be my agenda. And once I've seen that, and it doesn't mean I'm not helpful. It doesn't mean I'm just, never showing up with, but when, but it's just a different way of doing relationships and doing life. And it feels much better to do life that way. It's also hard to start if that's kind of the dynamic that you're from. But another one that I have is about movement in the body. And so tune into your body and see what movement your body may be craving. What movement does your body enjoy? And how important, it's so important. I've found it to be so important for me and my mental health to have physical movement. And everybody likes different things. So for you, it might be a different thing. And it doesn't matter what the thing is. It's just good that it aligns with you. Like, I love yoga. I love going for walks. Other people might hate those things. They might like running. They might like going to the gym, right? They might like dancing. But how important it is to do those. And then the third one I had is specifically for business owners. So when considering how to build a joyful business, it is most important that you build a business for you first, right? I've done a lot because my background's in social work. My background is in the nonprofit field. So I came at running a business of, we're going to solve the world's problems through business now. We're going to make everything better. And so that's a nice place to come from. But if it doesn't work for me first, I won't have a business, right? Like, I won't be able to provide for my family. I won't be able to continue. And it will be one of the 5 businesses, one of the businesses that fail within the first 5 years, right? So shifting that, and that's something I keep having to, remember, but like, okay, we got to keep the business person running and well, and design things that will work for me. And the business and life goes so much better that way.
Absolutely.
Nice. Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
So I'm an energy coach. So I looked at all these topics through the lens of energy and how that shows up for us. So on page 185 is awareness. Awareness of resistance is the key to alignment. Awareness is how we feel. Awareness of how we feel is the key to identifying the resistance. So when we're trying to do something, we want to be aligned with what our heart wants. If our heart is not aligned, we're going to feel that resistance energetically. Things are not going to go well for us. Things are going to show up in our path to block it and stop it from moving forward. And that's the beauty and the flow of awareness. And I always say awareness is your superpower. So that's one of my favorites. And then on page 133 is our spiritual, physical, and emotional well-being are key to our grounding and essential to all that is happening in our lives. So again, that lends itself to the awareness of pointing to those areas that, are important for us to sort of pay attention to, or that where we're feeling less than. And, spending time with yourself with spiritual activities, whatever those are, whether it's meditation or journaling, or whatever, can be very helpful. And physical, like Liz said, moving your body is so really important. And emotional, being in touch with our feelings and honoring our feelings right where we are can be really grounding for us in manifesting whatever it is we're out to manifest. So that's another of my favorites. Thank you.
Love it. Love it. Alyssa.
Oh, just one. I had a few that I actually wrote down ahead of time. And
Oops,
now
were
I'm
we
actually
supposed to do just one?
What?
No. I did 3. So
Oh, good.
No, I had a few, and actually, I'm going to actually read something different because my first thoughts when the question was posed, I said, "Oh, okay, which ones?" And I felt self-care for healing, thriving, well-being, and being in joy. And then I thought about alignment, which I've already mentioned. And then I thought about inspired action, which has been really, really critical for me in my own healing, thriving, and next steps. And then as I was just flipping through the book again, I came across imagination. And that's actually what I wanted to mention because all of those things that I just said, self-care and inspired action and alignment, actually, I feel like they started for me in imagination. And I wrote this, the beginning of what I wrote about imagination is imagination in action is a powerful force that shapes our reality. It begins with a vision and inspired action via an idea sparked in our mind. The idea or inspired action takes on a new form and moves into focused effort, which leads to results and the next steps in our alignment. I didn't realize I wrote that like that, and I wrote these other keys, but I feel like imagination is coming out. And it reminded me of, as I looked up in the sky today regarding the book launch today, and I'm just imagining all these possibilities opening, these visions I had. And just one example about imagination, and that has to do with inspired action, because I actually wrote about it 2 times now that I'm, thinking about it. As I talked to a friend, Kevin, and he was telling me about these 5Ks and marathons and 10Ks that he used to run. And I was never a runner until I was. And he had this inspired action to run, and this is in the book. He ran and he would run marathons, and at every mile he would stop and he would talk about the effects of slavery, and he would name former, people who were slaves. And I just was so inspired hearing that, thinking of my own survivorship and sexual violence. And I said, I want to run for people like me and myself who have also had these experiences. So I began running. And it was inspired action, it was meditation, it was self-care, and it was alignment. I was on the pavement running, I was in my own thoughts, I was breathing, and this whole new world just opened up, and I began to imagine myself running, completing a race. And I have since, at the time of this recording, I've probably ran about 6 5Ks and a 10K, and I run in the mornings when it's inspired, and I don't run when I don't feel that inspiration. So I'm listening to what my body needs at the moment, and I know that's going to change over time. But a lot of it has started with that imagination of what comes next. I just thought that I'm just getting this realization as we're live right now. So sorry, but it's just happening right at this moment of new imaginations coming in and new inspired actions coming in. So I guess that would be my key for today.
Awesome.
It's so poetic. It's so poetic, y'all. It's like it's all connected.
It so is. So I appreciate everyone. Thank you for joining us. Be sure and go over to Amazon, get your free book. Yet today or tomorrow are the last 2 days for the free ebook. But get a copy of the paperback, because you're going to want this big bad boy to be a support to you. And this is a living resource. You're going to come back to it. I'm telling you, you're going to come back to it. So if you happen to change phones and you lose your ebook or something, you'll have a physical copy. And you're going to want to do that, because there are so many keys that we highlight with a little key that you can find, and the integrative exercises. So also our authors are we're running out of time, so I want to go. I don't want to be too long, but our authors will come back and put in the chat on the Facebook Live their offers. They have some extra free bonuses for you, just for watching the replay. And we want to get any of these support tools that they're giving into your hands. And share this video with others, please. And we thank you, and thank you, authors, for being here today and supporting me in my desire to have keys to joyful living birthed into the world. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Love you.
Thank you.
you.
Bye-bye.